So welcome everybody to this latest video on 162 Maths, and in this video we'll be going over the topic of time series graphs. So a time series is often used to monitor progress and show trend, and that trend can either increase, decrease, go upwards or downwards, so that future performances can be predicted. Now the type of graph used in this situation is a line graph, and sometimes a time series can show seasonal variation whereby increases and decreases often occur at a particular time. So for example, let's say heating costs, where you would expect a sharp rise in the winter because obviously people are using it more, and less so much in the summer. And obviously then you're looking at chocolate sales, so you could say that you'll see increases at Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Easter. Holiday bookings generally tend to be more popular during school holidays, and obviously traffic times for using rush hour or when people are approaching work or leaving work. So let's have a look at some key example questions that you could face in an exam. So the graph shows the midday temperatures in Cambridge over the summer, and the first part is asking us what is the range of temperatures. Now here you can see that the temperatures is on the vertical axis, and you can see that the highest temperature is 18 and the lowest temperature is 12. So to work out the range, it's the highest, so it's 18 minus the lowest, which is 12, so we have a range of 6 degrees. It then says, is the trend upward or downward? Well, in this case it's pretty obvious, there is an upward trend. Then moving on to question 2, it says that the time series graph shows information about the percentage of people in a town that used the coffee shop for the years between 1980 and 2010. Now, it is really important that you do read the question and try and understand what the data in the graph shows for you to properly understand and be able to answer the question that's being asked fluently. So the question says, describe the trend in the percentage of the people in the town who used the coffee shop for this period. And you can see that the number of people increased, and so something along those lines would be absolutely fine, but it's important that you do remember to describe the trend rather than just stating what it is. So you wouldn't say an upward trend for this particular question, you would say that the number of people increased, or the number of people visiting the shop, I should say. So let's just get rid of that word there. So the number of people visiting the coffee shop increased. The next question then says, use the graph to predict the percentage of people in the town likely to use the coffee shop in 2020. So what you need to kind of do is, I wouldn't say draw a line of best fit, but you kind of want to predict where that line would be if you went at 2020. So if I just draw a dotted line at 2020, I want to see roughly where will that graph go, and you kind of just want to predict where it's going to be. So I would say an answer that's going to be between maybe 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76 would be appropriate for that answer. So moving on to question 3, it says the time series graph shows information about the number of umbrellas sold in a shop in the first 6 months. And it says the sales target for the first 6 months of 2015 was to sell an average or mean of 65 umbrellas per month. Did the shop meet its target? Show your answer, or show how you get your answer. So what you want to do here is basically read off the graph and see what the sales of the umbrellas were during those 6 months. So I'm just writing down the months, and what I need to do is to write down the values of the sales. So looking at the scale, you can see each little box is going to represent 2. So this is going to be 50, and I would say that's 54. In February, it is 84. In March, it's 72. In April, it is 94. In May, I would say that's 52. And in June, I would say that's 26. So what we need to do is we need to work out the average, the mean of those 6 numbers. So again, going back to working out the mean, I need to add all those numbers up. So 54 plus 84 plus 72 plus 94 plus 52 plus 26 gives me an answer of 300 and 82 divided by 6, and that gives me an answer of 63.6 recurring. So the answer to this question, did the shop meet its target? No, it fell just short of its target. Now, if when reading the graph you may be slightly one off, so for example, when you're depending on the copying of the question or the printout of the graph, you might find that your results may be one square up or down from mine, but it shouldn't really impact the final answer of no. Moving on to question 4, it says that the 24-hour the temperatures inside a greenhouse are recorded every 6 hours over a 24-hour period. The results are shown in the table. And the question is asking us to draw a time series graph to show the information. So here at midnight, it's at 4 degrees. So I'm just going to do a little X there. Then at 6 o'clock, it's at 8. At 12, it's at 14. At 6 o'clock, it's at 15. And at midnight it is at 6, which is there. So then what I then need to do is carefully with a ruler is join those points up with a straight line. So if I just use a different color, this is going to be not as accurate, but hopefully you get the gist of what it is that I'm doing. And then we connect other points, and now obviously mine's not going to be as neat as what it would be if I was working with a pencil and a ruler. You should end up with something that looks like this. The next question then says calculate the range of temperatures measured inside the greenhouse over a 12-hour period. Well, for this I don't need to use the graph because I've got the raw data. So it's the biggest temperature, take away the smallest temperature, so it's going to be 15 minus 4, which is 11 degrees. Then moving on to question 5, it says that the wind speed in miles per hour was measured every 6 hours during a day in the Isles of Sicily. The results are shown in the table below, and the question is asking us to complete the time series graph below. So here you can see we've got 3 X's, so that's that one, and that one done. So the only one I've got to finish off is the 6 o'clock and the midnight one. So at 6 p.m. it's at 12, so that's going to be there. And at midnight it's at 2, which is there. And then all I then need to do is, let's use red and join those points up as best that I can. Like so. Now the next question then says find the mean and the median of the recorded wind speeds. So for this, for the mean, I've got to add them all up. So I've got 1 plus 8 plus 13 plus 12 plus 2, all divided by 5. And if I either work that out without using a calculator or with a calculator, depending on what this is, so it's going to be 36 divided by 5, which gives me an answer of 7.2 mph. And then the median, I've got 5 numbers, so I just need to put those 5 numbers in numerical order. So I've got 1, 2, 8, 12 and 13. It's really important that you do show that you've ordered the numbers, and then our median number is going to be 8. So it's 8 miles per hour. And you'll tend to find that most time series graph will resemble one of these 5 examples that we have done.